Welcome, everybody. Just dropping in and becoming present and relaxing. Allowing your shoulders to drop, your spine to curve a little bit. As Seth will do some toning and some drumming and some didgeridoo, just to align our bodies on a cellular level. So we'll begin our meditation.
Please, the number of lights in the road is moving. We are
join us as we do our 7 breaths in, holding for 7, exhaling for 7, and maintaining the exhale for a count of 7, as described in the sacred breathing technique of the Ho'oponopono. Doing this 7 times in a row is optimal, but today we'll do it 3 times. And so we begin breathing in for a count of 7, in, hold, slowly exhaling for a count of 7, and hold the empty space. Breathing in, and hold, and exhaling, and hold the empty. And in, hold, slowly exhaling, and hold the empty. Resuming your breathing normally. Very gently relaxing. Communicating to your body a time for stillness, reflection, centeredness, and being in the now. As you breathe very deeply, going all the way down to the bottom of your diaphragm, attempt to observe your breath. The Latin word for breath is inspiro, meaning spirit. When we are breathing deeply and observing our breath, the conscious mind and the subconscious mind are quietened, and we become aware of our ever-present connection with the higher realms. And we make this affirmation that we understand we are always connected to the higher realms. It is sometimes that we forget. Feeling their presence, knowing its truth. Feeling the presence and the affirmations of the I am present. I am divine. I'm a part of a whole, so magnificent and grand as to be sometimes beyond my earthly comprehension. Feeling your chest expand now with the light and the love of the universe, seeing in your heart space that energy. It's white, it's gold, it's silver, it's luminescent. It is the divine energy of your heart space. It is your temple of light, your gathering place of light. Even though it is uniquely yours and mine, we are connected to a whole as our light space energy communicates with all of those around us. Feeling that energy traveling down to the base of your chakras, the bottom of your spine, seeing, feeling, and knowing that energy traveling out the bottom of your feet. Feel it connecting with Gaia, with Mother Earth. Sense that energy continuing to delve deep in the center of the earth, connecting to the black crystal at the center of the earth, that which grounds, holds space, enables earth to move and to spin and to be. Feeling that energy in your heart space connecting completely and totally to the center of the earth, and as we do, we send her love, appreciation, and gratitude as we acknowledge and know we live in an abundant planet. We acknowledge the air we breathe, the water we drink, the food we eat, the roof over our head, and the clothes that we wear all come from Mother Earth. Even our cell phones and our automobiles, furnishings, everything in some way, in some shape, in some form, comes from Mother Earth. Coming back up into your body. Refeeling the heart space energy at the center of your chest. Now sending that energy up out of the top of your crown chakra, through the roof of this building, into the Earth's atmosphere, into our star system, and now beyond, into other galaxies, moving it and feeling it, connect and travel to all 400 billion planets in the Milky Way. Do we now recognize the totality, the completeness, the magnificence of our divine energy? Feeling and sensing our connection to the universal life forces, knowing we are a part of this, and yet an individual, coexisting simultaneously. Bringing your attention back to the heart space energy, sending your love out horizontally in all directions to every living creature, every organism, every plant, every mountain, every water, every earth, every sand, all the people, all the animals, all life that is existing in our earth plane, that which we can see and that which we do not see. Setting the intention and putting your hands out in front of you as you visualize and hold space for Mother Earth. See her. See everything that exists around her. And as we say our blessing of Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu, the sacred words in Sanskrit that translate as, may all beings of creation live in peace, love, and joy. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. And so it is. Visualize as you hold space for Mother Earth. All her beings living in harmony, co-creating the circle of life, a brotherhood, a sisterhood, a fairness, a righteousness, a gentle governing, peaceful coexistence, helping, learning, and sharing. As we visualize this, we create this, for imagination is creation. As we create on the etheric field, so do we then begin to see before us revealed that on a molecular level. We must create in our imagination to see it before us. These are the laws of the universe. And allowing your hands to rest back in your lap. Holding this space, holding this place of peace. Coming back to the room whenever you're ready. All you little church mice that sneak in during the meditation while my eyes are closed. You think I can't hear you. Ever since we've been in this space, when we do the Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu affirmation, I've been feeling a more intense tingling at the top of my head. I always felt the vibration of it in the Rockfield location, but for some reason here it's more intense. There's a feeling here in this location. I was told by somebody 2 weeks ago that the Native American spirits have been waiting for us to come here on this sacred land and open the vortexes that we did. And there's a feeling in this building. It's hard to describe. Does everybody notice it? Yes. There's a feeling of peace. Yes. And I thought that when we moved in here, I was ramping up, thinking, okay, it was hard work before, there was a lot to do before, let me really take my vitamins and get ready for, it's going to be double the work getting in here. And it hasn't been that way at all. It's been half the work. Been going home more relaxed. And it almost seems like it's just doing the work itself. We're here holding space for it. And so I've noticed my stress levels have gone down, which is really interesting. We have rented all of the 7 healing rooms out. Some of them are doing roommates, but we have now 13 on-site practitioners. So whenever you're here, you can go and visit them. That's one of them now hanging up their room. I apologize for the banging. Perhaps we could go remind them that we're doing Sunday services. They could maybe stop banging for a few minutes. I want to talk to you today about Melchizedek. Has everybody heard of him? Mm-hmm. Yeah. He was first noted biblically in the book of Genesis, in the 14th chapter, where Abraham encountered him. He was the king of Salem, now called Jerusalem, and he was also the high priest of the highest order. This might sound not so interesting, but in those days and in ever-presence, kings were never the high priest. You were one or the other. You were a high priest of a religious order, or you were a governing body, but he was indeed both, the high priest and the king. Writings have shown that he had no mother, no father, no brothers, no sisters, no wife, and no offspring. He just simply existed and looked the same throughout his entire life. So although the writings never actually came out and said he was an immortal, all of the writings supported the fact that he simply was an etheric being here on earth. He's said to be the previous incarnation of Jesus Christ. In the writings where they speak about how he was called and how Jesus Christ was called, they were both called the sons of God. They were both called the kings of righteousness, the kings of peace, priests. They both had an association with Abraham. They were both considered anointed ones, high priests of God, appointed by God, eternal ones, pre-existent ones, and they both did rituals with bread and wine. When Jesus Christ came in, he said, I am the high priest of the order of Melchizedek. he so named himself to be the high priest of Melchizedek. Melchi means king, Zedek means righteousness. He is the king of righteousness. He worked with Abraham, and in the beginning was therefore there when the Israelites were born, and Abraham's children and grandchildren, and the movement through all of that area. He's known in Tibet by Buddhists and Mongols, all throughout the Orient by the same name, which was far removed from the area of Jerusalem or Salam in that area. There was a traveler, an author, a historian, called Ferdinand Ossendowski, and in 1924 he was traveling in the Orient, and he had Mongol guides, and they came upon an area that he later learned was a sacred land dedicated to Melchizedek. And he writes from his book, quote, "While we were crossing the steppes of Central Asia in a caravan near Saranluk, the Mongol guide whispered all of a sudden, 'Stop, stop.' He immediately jumped off the camel on the ground, murmuring the ancient classical Buddhist mantra, Om Mani Padme Om. Something incredible happened in that moment. The air was softly vibrating, bringing a song of love and peace that reached directly to the heart. The earth and sky seemed to hold their breath. Even the animals could sense it. The birds descended from their flight and rested. The camels pricked up their ears. The horses stood still and attentive. The dogs stopped their barking, and the yaks laid on the ground. The Mongol porters kneeled and were fervently praying while one could feel that absolute peace. Even the wind, so habitual in that parts, stopped blowing. There was an extraordinary atmosphere, an unusual silence, and a peace, especially for all of those around." When I was meditating last night, and I was given the message last week to bring in Melchizedek, I had heard of him, and I know that he is one of the entities, the etheric beings that I work with, but I had never actually connected to him personally and said, "Who are you?" So last night, as I sat there, I connected and I said, "Show me who you are. Teach me your ways. Let me become familiar with you." And initially, the images that came in were these female figures that spoke of who he was. These were people that were in his leadership. And they said he is one who connects to the group consciousness of all of those he leads. He is a leader without personal agenda. He understands all of the feelings and the desires of all of those that he leads, and he governs by sending love to them as a group consciousness. And I thought, what a beautiful way of describing self-righteous, heart-centered leadership. That is what leadership is supposed to be about. Standing up and being of service for the good of everybody on a group level. And then he came in, and he was talking to me. I've been always asking about how I can serve our United Conscious community, and this community where I've been brought to create this place of brotherhood and community. And he said to do the same thing. He said, he said, instead of wondering how you can grow it and how you can build it and how you can bring them together, he said, you've been going about it the hard way. He said, just go into a place of peace, ask to be shown all the people here that you're meant to serve, and find out what their group consciousness is. Find out what it is that they want. Find out how you can serve them in the best way. And so as I did that, the message was simply community. People want to feel a sense of being in a place, but without confinement. A community where they can move and come and go. And I heard Lloyd mentioning that you go to a different church sometimes, and And that's what we've always espoused here is we consider all of you our members, but we don't have any kind of idea that you should only be a member here. We love that people go and belong to different organizations. Seth belongs to Louis Dora Dumfries ashram. And I hope that all of you have different places that you go and learn and breathe and bring that brotherhood and that sense of free-flowing sovereignty, personal sovereignty. That is what the Temple of Light is about. It's about personal sovereignty. And so our foundation here is to come together as brothers and sisters and friends, understanding and perfecting personal sovereignty, and breaking free of cultures and things that tell you how to think and what to think. We simply teach you to think for yourselves, to feel for yourselves, to create for yourselves. And that's the group consciousness that I'll be tapping into as I seek for ways to expand our community and to reach out to other people. And so he says to me, reach out in ways from your heart. Think not of drawing them in, but of reaching out to them. So he's telling me I had my directions wrong. And I was trying to find ways to bring people in instead of going out to them energetically. And I've been teaching people in my mentorship class, when you want to go out there and build your practice, one of the steps that we do I call getting out the front door. You've got to get up and go out and meet people and go and do things. And he's telling me to simply do that energetically. I mean, I still need to get up and go and do speaking engagement. He's not telling me I get to hunker down in my office and not doing anything. But to expand on what I'm doing by reaching out. So I would ask you individually, what is it that you want in your life? Where do you want to go? What do you want to create? Who do you want to be? What vision do you want to see in the world? And how will you create that? It's easy. You will simply sit in a place of meditation, contemplation, and centeredness, and take that vision and send it out and say, this is what I want to create. Whoever has this same idea as me, send this vision out to any that are all that are out there. Connect this vision, send this message out like a giant Craigslist ad. Whatever vision you have, ask that it be connected to other people that have the same vision. And those people will start showing up in your life, or communities where you can connect to that will start showing up in your life. Or simply just the energy of sending that out there enlightens and ignites their thoughts that are there. And you've just shown up as a leader inside that community. So Melchizedek comes in and says, we are all kings, we are all high priests and priestesses. We are all leaders in a community that may not have a name, it may not have a place, but we are all responsible to create a community that we lead in our thought process as we connect to that high consciousness. It was one of the purest and most absent of agenda descriptions of leadership I've ever heard. There was no cause, there was no list of things to do, no one to sway, no one to change. It had such an incredible lack of force to it. It simply was there, like a flower, just opening up and blossoming. You open these thoughts and you send it out there in the ethers. So we're all leaders. And so he shows me what I consider to be one of the most supreme forms of leadership, as what Gandhi says, be that change. But Melchizedek says, take it a step farther. Be the change that you want to see, but now send that change, visualize it, and create it in your imagination and send it out there. And that's the message that he sends to us. How powerful is that? And how simple and gentle an individual. So let's go into a meditation. Let's call Melchizedek in. And I want you to think about something that you would like to see change in your life, whether it's this economy, as people say, whether it has to do with jobs or hunger or government or economy or organic food, pollution, ozone layer, ocean life, cleaning things up. Pick the most powerful thing that you would like to see change in the world that you live in. And without agenda, you're going to make that wish. And then we're going to take you through meditation, and if you should choose to, open your hearts and allow Melchizedek to come in and show you how to take that vision and send it out to a universal level, so that you can start beginning to see that change happen, and you are going to be standing up as a leader for that change in and of yourself. And I imagine we're all going to be wishing for fairly simple things. So, feet on the floor. Breathing in and relaxing. And with open hearts and open minds, we invite the king and the priest, the previous incarnation of Jesus of Nazareth, to come into our hearts and our minds. We invite Melchizedek in to show us your ways. Teach us what it feels like to be a universal individual leader. That we in our own heart space can become leaders of the universe by imagining in the highest form and in the highest way a change that we would like to see. For me personally, I wish to see a world of interfaith, trans-denominational understanding, and a relaxing of all of the religious tensions between people. Not a sympathizing of them, but rather simply a cohesiveness and understanding. That's my personal leadership wish. Choose your own as you see fit. And if you can't think of one, you can borrow that one. And so we're asking now for Melchizedek to come in. And as you feel his presence in your heart, standing next to you, visualize your wish. Imagine what it would look like if that desire of yours were to come true. Seeing yourself now as the leader of that wish being created. Hear yourself saying, I am the high priest and the king or queen of this change in universal levels. And now, from the top of your head, from your crown chakra, imagine light being dispersed 360 degrees in all directions, going over the earth plane, into the galaxy, into the universe, and asking if anybody else, any other energy, any other form of life aligns with this vision to ignite and connect. See a matrix of information connecting to all else who feel the same and wish for the same. See this matrix igniting, this light being created as thousands, millions, even billions of people, or life force or other organisms, etheric beings, have the same desire as you. See their desires connecting to yours in electric, energetic, blanket forms of creation. as you ignite this thought, you step into a leadership of this change. This is the power of who we are and what we are. We are divine beings of light, capable of stepping up into any form of leadership that we choose to be of service to. Continue to imagine what it would look like for your role as your leadership, whatever you've chosen. See it happening. See it being created. As your body relaxes and your breathing slows down, you'll know that you've created this. You may feel tingling at the top of your head, or a gentle wave of love surrounding you. You may feel in your heart space energy, a warmth, a feeling of peace. Feeling of acknowledgement that you've just created something absolutely magnificent. And you can, and you have, and it is done. And when you feel as though your vision is complete, you can say to yourself or out loud, it is done, it is done, it is done. Whenever you're ready, just come back to the room. Take as long as you want. Come back to the room when you're ready. See it happening? It's that easy. Congratulations, you are a world leader. That's all it takes. And that's his message coming through. It's the power of who we are as individuals. I felt a shift. My whole top of my head was shifting and felt dense for a minute and then really light. I felt the shift. Anybody else have a similar experience? Feel a shift? You felt a shift in your body?
I felt like a wave of electricity, kind of subtle whoosh of kind of lightning coming through.
Do you care to share your wish, or would you prefer to keep it private?
Just aligning with people, everyone that's aligned with my vision of bringing sound out, sacred sound out to the world, and my heart opening more to anyone that's aligned with that.
So bringing sacred sound, sacred sound healing has been such an underestimated, under-acknowledged, under-aware way of healing. People don't realize the impact that it has. There was a full moon last night, and we went to the drumming circle at Aliso Creek. And it was 3 hours. We were only there for a little over an hour. But just sitting there drumming for an hour and hearing all of those drums, I felt amazing afterward. I physically felt good. And maybe it was the fresh air, And, you know, we were sitting there, we had the one big drum, and we just were beating the other side of it, but I physically felt good having all of that sound healing for an hour, and it was like I got recentered. It was like something got kind of shaken out, and it's kind of hard to describe. It was
Yeah,
like you got rebooted.
And especially doing it there out on the ocean, just allowing your body and everything to harmonize. That's what using sound's all about. That's what we are. We are sound and vibration.
We are sound
so
and vibration.
everything is vibration. So
Yeah.
when anything's out of place, it's like we're out of tune, like an instrument.
Yeah, and the full moon was out, and there was the
Mhm.
ocean
Mhm.
and fresh
Yeah.
air, and there was a fire, so all the elements were there, and people were dancing, and so they were all in rhythm. So, but I mean, it was the sound of the drums, and it's amazing to me that it was all the different sounds of drums, and yet there was one beat that followed underneath of it.
Heartbeat.
So, anybody else want to share anything that they? No, you all just kind of like, I even can't even talk.
Something I was gonna just say. Something else that I saw was that when it was connecting out to all the people, it was like this electricity. It felt like I thought of mushroom mycelium. How mushrooms it goes out for miles and miles and miles, and just goes out and just connecting and moving and going, and then that light going up into the sky, out to the earth, out into the universe. It was pretty vivid visualization.
I felt immense peace and elation, seeing myself connecting with beams of light to all there is in peace, love,
And what leadership role did you step into?
and it was
If you want to share.
just having everyone connect with being together, working together, harmony.
So brotherhood and sisterhood,
Yes,
Yeah.
beneficial for everyone.
working together instead of being in competition.
Right. Yeah, and just energy flowing. And the goodness that is the result of that.
Stepping into leadership can be done very privately like this. It can be done very personally. It doesn't have to be really out there. I was out there yesterday. I dropped my car off in Laguna to get tires aligned, and I was walking through town with my little dog. And I went into Whole Foods to get something for dinner, and I tied up, I think if you met my little dog. Anyway, so I tied him up outside the store, and he's yelped before when I've done that, so I went in really quickly, got what I needed, and came back out. And there was a gentleman there that was petting him. Audubon and I had spoken with this gentleman, oddly enough, about 1.5 years, 2 years ago. We'd been walking on PCH, and he saw that we had a toy fox terrier, and he had 2 larger dogs, and he very painfully was sharing that while he was living at the top of the world on Laguna Beach, his toy fox terrier was abducted one night by coyotes.
Oh.
And this was about 10 years ago, and when I came out of the store, there was somebody petting my dog, and I didn't realize it at the moment it was the same gentleman, and he started saying, I had a toy fox terrier, and he got abducted by coyotes. And I said, I think my husband and I spoke to you about 1.5 years ago. And he said, I walked up to the store, and he said, this looked like Cowboy, my little dog, because he had the same markings. And he was so sad. And he said, it's been 10 years. He said, I should really move on from this. And so I heard the message coming in, and so I went for it, and I heard the message that came in that said, I don't know if you really believe in this or not, but I said, you can connect with an animal communicator who could get a message to you from him from the other side so that you can find out if he's okay. Just as I said that out loud in the parking lot, this woman comes up, stands between us, looks at me with her hands on her hips, and she says, "You did not just say that."
Wow.
And I looked at her and I said, "Yeah, I did." And she turned around, threw her head up, threw her arms up, and laughed out loud. I went, you know,
Okay.
there's order in chaos.
Wow.
There is a reason why that man, 10 years, he's been mourning this dog. And as he heard me say that, as she was laughing, I looked at him, and he had his head down, he was contemplating. Is he going to call an animal communicator today or tomorrow? I don't know. But he at least heard the words that said he's on the other side and he's okay. And it was a seed that got him moving forward and getting out of mourning. And that woman, she got a laugh, you know? Laughter's good healing energy. If that made her day, maybe she needed to laugh. Maybe she was having a really bad day.
Yeah.
Maybe she'll have a dog leave her in 5 years or 10 years, and then that seed that got planted yesterday that made her laugh and remember it and tell the story a couple of times will come back to her. Leadership sometimes looks a little funny.
Yeah.
But I was really proud of myself. I just looked at her and I said, "Yeah, I did say that." I was just told she could right and looked at me with her hands on her hips, stood between us and interrupted us. Because she just turned around, her ears heard that, and I must have been like the most bizarre thing she had ever heard. But leadership comes in different shapes and sizes and forms, and you know, I don't expect you to be out there like I'm out there. My picture is all over our website saying the things that we do. I mean, I'm pretty out there. I'm pretty much in the public eye. And so I have to be able to say these things in public because I have to walk my talk. I'm not asking you to do the same thing and go out there and start espousing all of these beliefs. I'm asking you to do it the way Melchizedek showed you. You can do it in private. You can do it in your own way. You can do it with the most gentle way of being at heart. But I am asking you to be a world leader because you have that power, because you have that ability. Now, as silly as it sounds to this woman that you can go to somebody that can get a message from your pet in doggy heaven, really, aren't we saying that life exists in perpetuity, that we are energy, that we continue to exist after our bodies decompose? Aren't we saying that all life forms are gentle, loving, intelligent beings, that human beings are not the only intelligent beings, that animals and plants and crystals also have a higher consciousness? And aren't we also saying that there is more than one language called English? There is the language of the universe. And if there is a language of the universe, and if all beings are intelligent, and if life continues, of course, we can talk to an energetic being with our hearts, even if it's a dog, because their physical body isn't here anymore. That is what we are affirming when we say something like that. We are saying something that life-affirming, that intelligent, that higher. That woman couldn't understand that, but again, you know, maybe she was depressed and maybe Spirit put her there because that laugh that it gave her turned her around. For whatever reason, she was there to hear that message.
And you also planted the seeds in her mind so that someday she may awaken to realize that there is more.
At some point in time. And I just sat there and smiled and I went, okay, wow, I wonder what that was all about. But, you know, he got healed and she got a laugh. And I stood in my power and said, yes, I did just say that. Without any embarrassment or anything. And I walked away thinking, wow, this is really my job. To say something like that to people outside of Whole Foods.
It also, it could have been also his, that was a new concept to him as well, right? So,
I don't know. He didn't say anything either way.
because
He didn't say that's ridiculous, or he didn't say I'm going to call, but he was contemplating. I saw him with his head down, and he was absorbing what I was saying, and he was taking it in.
So I was thinking he might have drawn that woman to him.
Yeah,
His
me
ego.
too. That's
Possibly.
his karma.
Yeah.
Possibly.
Yeah.
I mean, he went off in one direction, and she went off in the other. I mean, she literally, I looked at her, she walked away from me with her head still up in the lap, I mean, wholeheartedly laughing.
Yeah, I think there was some kind of agreement between him and her. So.
Possibly, but I just looked at this and I went, I did not create this. I mean, I was actually just put in the middle and told to do this.
Yeah.
And I did my job, but I mean, it was just really interesting. This is what happens when we step into leadership. When we step into our divine power to say, I am here to serve humanity, I'm here to help, I'm here to say what needs to be said, and to help those that need to be helped. And I don't know what it looks like, and I would never have thought what it looked like for me was what happened yesterday, but it did, and it was funny. I walked away kind of chuckling myself, saying, well, that was interesting.
And you planted the seed, I mean, in his mind, so that was the most important.
I saw him
Yeah.
shift, even though he may not call and do that, just hearing the words, he is in a higher place, and he's okay, and you can hear somebody tell you that he's in a good place. Just hearing me say those words, I energetically saw him shifting. This poor man has been mourning for 10 years for a little dog, and it just affirms me, my little annoying dog actually turned out to be a healer as well. But he was just here to eat and sleep on me.
And he can also transform his loss into love for another pet.
Yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
I've done.
Yeah, I mean, when he walked up, he said to me, because apparently a toy fox terrier, usually their markings are black and white. Being all beige and white is highly unusual. And when he walked up, he said, I thought I was looking at Cowboy. He actually thought he had somehow come across his long-lost dog. And that's how much of a mourning it was. I mean, he was looking for his dog everywhere, but he thought he had seen it. So
Did you offer to have him pet sit for you?
There was a part of me that almost said, you should have this dog. This is my dog. There was a part of me that almost wanted to give it to him because, I mean, he was just so, this is how distraught he was. I just thought, no, you're my dog. You get to go home with me.
You didn't get the little girl dog you were talking about?
We never did, no. No, we're actually enjoying our independence right now with being all the children out of the house. We're redefining our rhythms, and the refrigerator looks different and the house looks different, and so no too much responsibility right now as a dog. So any questions? Did everybody feel Melchizedek's presence around them when they were stepping into their leadership role? So he's asking me to reaffirm to you, you are all high priests and priestesses, you are all kings and queens, you are all world leaders, and you have the power to create the change in the world that we exist in. And to know that, and to feel that power as you go in there, and to be of service. It's always about being of service. That's where the ultimate joy and peace comes from. Even if it means making a woman laugh outside. It was a great day. It was a great story, yeah. When it happened yesterday, I thought, I gotta tell this story tomorrow. So let's pass out the giving envelopes, and we'll continue with some of our announcements. As some of you were hearing me say, we are really, really looking at a week from today being in the Hall of Light. And I did order 200 beautiful lavender chairs, so they will be there. And I manifested the other day, I was thinking to myself, I would really love to have 2 huge amethyst geodes in the Hall of Light. And as I left the Frank's automobile place yesterday, as Shaitan and I were walking into town before we made the woman laugh, I went by a store called the Crystal Insight, which is a psychic healer on PCH. She was closing her store, and she had 2 huge crystal geodes in there. And I called and I said, "Are you selling those? Do you want to put them on consignment?" And her mother called me back in the phone on the way here to Sunday services. So I'm like, I think I manifested 2 huge geodes for the whole flight. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, I mean, one of them is tabletop, and it's about probably this big and this
Wow.
wide, and the other one is floored, probably 4
Whoa.
feet off the floor.
Wow.
One of those beautiful ones. So,
Wow.
yeah, I'm gonna get those in here somehow.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
the connection's already been made, but yeah.
That's awesome.
So I had a really good day yesterday. So we're continuing to put new and beautiful classes on our website in the efforts of the United Conscious Community. We have Ananda that follows the teachings of Paramahansa Yogananda, doing a meditation here on Thursdays, and also the Self-Realization Fellowship that is now doing meditations here on Saturday mornings. Everett here is going to be putting together some meetings and groups for doing some Buddhist chants if you'd like to experience what that feels like. I'm reaching out to Agape and the Kabbalah Center and Center for Spiritual Living, and following through to my vision that I just did with Melchizadek for a worldwide interfaith community. And I'll be joining the Interfaith Council of Orange County, but that is my desire and vision here, is to create a united conscious community, an interfaith, trans-denominational voice in Orange County, a really strong one. We have the Academy of Light, which is the school for holistic healing practitioners, weekend during the day, and it will be culminating with, on 12/12/12, Larissa Stowe will be doing her concert here. At the end of the evening, we'll be raffling off a 23-carat emerald necklace of superior quality that was donated by one of our members here. So we'll be putting out raffle tickets, $5, or 5 tickets for $20. This necklace has been donated as a fundraiser for the temple. There's a picture of it going out in the next Constant Contact, but it is a beautiful, beautiful 18-inch, 23-carat emerald necklace, all polished, but you never see anything like that. You normally see like a pendant piece. This is actually a beaded necklace of emeralds. Really unique, really unusual, and we'll be announcing the winner of that at the end of the Larissa Stowe concert on 12/12/12. So get your tickets early and get a chance to win that beautiful necklace. It's valued at over $1,300. So fun. If you have anything that you would like to see us do here, please come and let me know. And I actually have one more question. We've been doing the services at 10 o'clock on Sundays for almost 3 years now. How many people would prefer to see it at 11 o'clock? No? Yes? No? Yes? No? It's about 50-50. It's really helpful, guys. Okay. How many people would prefer to see at 9 o'clock and at 11 o'clock? So you can come early or come late. Have 2 options. That'd be good. You know, sometimes you wake up early and you want to just come and then have the rest of the day.
Yeah,
And then other times, if you sleep in, you don't want an opportunity to miss it. So,
that's true.
so if I did a 9 and an 11, that would be cool. Then you could sort of, okay, that would work. All right, we'll do it. I might not start right away. I'll have to wait till we get enough people to do a split. But okay, we'll do both. Thank you, from my heart to your heart, for being here and creating world leadership visions with me. Thank you for keeping your divine appointment this morning and donating these hard-earned funds so diligently that you're giving to us. May these blessings come back to you tenfold. And as always, we promise to use your donations with wisdom and integrity. Thank you. Our United Conscious community, we are looking to strengthen this community and bring leaders in to speak. We are asking people to do a monthly donation of $20 a month. I can give you a form, they're out there in the front desk, and we'll just charge your credit card $20 a month, or whatever you can afford. If 20 is too much, you can go down to 10 or even 5. But we also, you can go as high as you want as well. $20 is just a suggested figure. With your monthly commitment of $20 or more, we can expand this community, do more advertising on Google and Facebook, bring in community leaders, offer events. So I ask you to consider making a commitment to help us grow this community and be the voice of an interfaith, aligned, united conscious community. Thank you for being here.